All right.
Hey guys, welcome into the Snap Fantasy Football Show. Week 13 here. We're really close to playoffs. 2 weeks left. Lando and I are going to be holding it down as always. We've done some testing. Hopefully the stream is in good health today. Please let us know how it is for you. We appreciate that feedback. We are also really close to 1,700 subscribers, so really appreciate you guys being here each and every week, helping us grow. We're trying to get closer and closer to that 2,000 mark, but today's milestone is 1,700. So those of you who are new, welcome in, welcome to the family. My co-host Lando, what's going on?
Hey, I am back. We're here. Hopefully the stream works well. We have a nice little setup with Mac on the big screen, and now we are side to side. We've got some big injury news to go through. First, we have some players that are back, like Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins. We got to figure out the level of trust we have with those players. But either way, I'm excited. So get your questions in. Toss a like on this video. Share it out. I should actually share it out on our Instagram real quick, because I gotta still do that.
Twitter first.
And Twitter. Yep. I'll do both.
I'll run through some news. Before we do that, quick shout out to our members over here at the YouTube community. You'll see them in the chat in blue and green. Appreciate you guys. Some custom emojis, some bonus content, a monthly members only live stream. We got lots going on. But firstly, declared out today, Jalen Hurts and Daniel Jones at the quarterback position. You're going to be without them. Mike Glennon and Gardner Minshew filling in. I am putting some Gardner Minshew in my DFS lineups this week, which is crazy. Dalvin Cook, DeAndre Swift are confirmed out. Darrell Henderson and Melvin Gordon are very doubtful. I guess there's a small percent chance they play, but I'm going to say like 95% they are probably out. Sony Michel and Javonte Williams, both attractive options as well. Deebo Samuel is confirmed to be out this week. Antonio Brown is suspended for violating the COVID protocols. I believe he did falsify his vaccination status. And then Darren Waller has been ruled out. There is a boost to Foster Moreau. He is super cheap in DFS lineups, only $2,700 on DraftKings. I've got him in pretty much every lineup. It's a free square there. Then we get to the expected to play. This is the bright spot in the show here. Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins are expected to make their return for the Arizona Cardinals. That is great news. DeAndre Hopkins also for DFS really cheap, only $6,200. I've got him in a couple. Like I said, Gardner Minshew and Mike Glennon are going to be making their starts today. I would consider rolling out Gardner Minshew. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is expected to play through illness. James Robinson is going to give it a go. That is what the reports have said. Adrian Peterson is starting for the Seahawks today. Hands off, in my opinion. If you guys listened to the podcast this week, you heard a rundown on that. And then Odell Beckham Jr. and Brandon Cooks are both expected to play as well.
I am ready to go here, Mac. This is gonna be fun. I just shared us on a Twitter, and I'm about to go on Instagram.
Beautiful. Quick shout out to Easy. His daughter was in a basketball tournament this weekend in Toronto. Came down, got the dub, and had the game-winning basket. So, shouts out. And sorry I couldn't make it out to see Easy, but weather and family stuff, but next time. I'll get you next time, my guy. All right, let's go to the chat. Green and blue names first. As always, Thundarius on the way home from Kansas City. Saw Tech 9 live last night, VIP front row. Only one question. That's a sweet night. Jealous. Hopefully the concert was good. Everyone's safe. Russ versus the Niners or Wentz versus the Texans? Whoo, baby. That's a good question.
Going Wentz.
It's close for me, but I would definitely roll Wentz. A better matchup, and I just don't trust Russell Wilson yet. So, I mean, what can't the Colts do against the Texans at this point in time? I don't know. But
full confidence in Carson Wentz in the Colts.
He's a top 12 quarterback on the season. He's got some decent pass catchers. I do like the outlook for them this week, so I'm going to say that.
Now, when we know the range of outcome is the 5 touchdown game from Jonathan Taylor, but It's also possible that he catches a screen pass and then also Michael Pittman has a good game. So we know with those run-heavy offenses, it could be a Jonathan Taylor show. But, I mean, JT could have nothing, and it could just be a Wentz, Jack Doyle, Pittman, T.Y. Hilton always takes advantage of the Houston Texans, so you never know.
Shout out to Jordan, Caden, Mohammed, Gator fan, Gary in the chat. We're going to get to your questions momentarily. Going right back up to the top, Neon, hopefully you're still here. Hey guys, hopefully the stream works for the first time. Yep, fingers crossed. Everything looks to be locked and loaded today. We did some testing pre-stream and should be good. PPR pick 1, Sony Michel, assuming that Henderson doesn't play. Javonte Williams, Brandon Ayuk, Miles Sanders, or Devonte Smith. Oh boy, that's a good list.
Pick one.
Yeah, pick 1. I would order them Javonte Williams, Brandon Ayuk, and then it gets really hard. But I don't know. I don't know that the tier of Devonte Smith, Miles Sanders, Sony Michel trump the Javonte Williams, Brandon Ayuk. I just don't know that I could go there.
Yeah, I do really like Brandon Ayuk this week. Without Deebo Samuel, we saw him last year get a massive workload and be that number 1 wide receiver that people drafted and then dropped him this year.
Yeah.
But Ayuk should be in a really, really good spot this week. He's going to be very chalky on DraftKings. But Javonte, I am here for the breakout for Javonte Williams.
This is the week, absolutely. Gator fan pick 2 in a full PPR: Higgins, Robinson, Claypool, Bateman.
Okay. I'm going to fade James Robinson. He's going to try to make it work this week. I'm not expecting him to be very involved if he's active. So yeah. I'm going to leave Robinson out of that scenario.
That's fair. I think Bateman is probably at the bottom of my considerations for this list. So Higgins and Claypool are both attractive, I think.
I like it.
T. Higgins had a pretty solid week last week. I'm not going to project that for him this week, but Higgins and Claypool is probably your safer options. If you wanted to pivot, I think I would go Robinson, Claypool, if you do feel okay with James Robinson, but the matchup just isn't great. So Higgins, Claypool is what I'm going to go with.
Sounds good. Gary McCord, always in the chat. We appreciate you, Gary. Elijah Moore, Pittman, DK, Hollywood Brown, Ayuk, pick 3 PPR. Really think Pittman has a great game this week. I think you can absolutely lock Pittman in this lineup. Now, the biggest question for you, Mac, will the squeaky wheel get the grease with DK Metcalf? It came out from the offensive coordinator that they need to get DK the ball. Well,
you think?
You think? Yeah.
You think? The fact that he had 0 targets through 3 quarters last week is just, it's bad game planning. It's just bad football. You need to get the guy the ball, force something to him. He's 6'4", for Christ's sakes. I mean, let the guy get a jump ball. Get him involved. Drop a couple plays for him. It was sad to see him really not a part of the game plan. So
one catchable target and he caught it. Obviously, like that's wild.
Look, I think Pittman is a lock. I think Brandon Ayuk is a lock. I'm not afraid of the Pittsburgh defense with Hollywood Brown. He's been a top 10 wide receiver on the year. Mm-hmm. Ayuk is super attractive this week with no Deebo Samuel. He's been coming alive. I think if this was my team personally, I would be going Pittman, Brown, Ayuk. But if you don't want to shy away from DK Metcalf and you do want him in your lineup, I think I go Pittman, DK, and Ayuk. I would sit Brown down.
Yeah, it does depend if you are if you need a big week. So I think DK still has the massive ceiling, even though we haven't seen it. But he also has that dud game. So if you can't afford a 0, I think the guys Max said can give you at least a safer floor than DK from what we've seen lately.
Yeah, that's exactly it. DK should be more involved, but the track record over the last couple games, especially with Russ back, has been awful. So if you want to fall into the recency bias, if you want to have a pivot play, Pittman, Brown, Ayuk is the way I would go.
Yep. Sounds good. What's going on, Richie? Welcome to the chat. My buddy War is in the chat. What's going on, pal? Jacob here. Thanks so much for coming in, guys. Make sure to toss a like on the video if you can. We very much appreciate it. We will get to your questions momentarily.
Gator fan is happy that Kyler is back. So are we. It's going to be great to see the Cardinals back in business. Should we start Christian Kirk with Kyler Murray back or Josh Reynolds? And my answer is going to be firmly on Christian Kirk, who's been a top 20 wide receiver this year. So Christian Kirk is the play for me.
Yeah, I think Josh Reynolds is a fine play, especially in DFS lineups, but I'm not going to bank on that for him.
Right.
I know he has a relationship with Jared Goff, but again, it's the Detroit Lions. It doesn't feel great. So I think you do have an upside. So I do want to talk to you, Mac, about Kyler Murray. If he's back, you're likely starting him if you have him on your team. But what are some realistic expectations? I'm not thinking he's going to run that much for Chicago, or do you think he's going to be back to himself and they're going to have designed run plays for Kyler and company?
I would be tempering expectations just a little bit for Kyler in terms of his rushing ability, but I do think that he's in a great spot to have a great game. So I'm playing Kyler Murray if I have him. You sort of have to, but I'm going to temper expectations on the ground. If you're playing in some sleeper or some underdog contest where you can take the under on some Kyler Murray rushing, I think that's not a bad play this week at all. We do have a super chat coming in from Mark Hill. Cordero Patterson or Elijah Mitchell, sit one of the two. Oh man, I would prefer to just play them both. Unless your other running back is Joe Mixon, Jonathan Taylor, Austin Eckler, maybe even Leonard Fournette this week. I think that Mitchell, Madison, Cordero are my next up in that. So, Mark, if you want to type in the chat, who are your other running backs that you are considering? That would be super helpful. Maybe we can help you make a better start-sit decision. Between the two, I'm probably going to roll Elijah Mitchell over Cordero Patterson. And it's close, but I think I do like Mitchell this week against the Seahawks.
Yeah, Mac and I discussed this when we were doing the running back rankings earlier in the week, and Elijah Mitchell is such a good spot, and he won't get vultured by Deebo Samuel this week, which he has been the past few weeks. Even with that, Elijah's been a very, very good running back. So I've got Mitchell as a top 10 back, and I do have Cordero as a top 15 back, even against a tough matchup against Tampa Bay. But it's going to be based on the volume and the usage that Cordero gets. Even though he's a running back, he gets the receptions. He's a one-man show there for Atlanta. It's a tough matchup, but yeah, let us know, Mark, and we appreciate the super chat as always. You always come through with us, and we appreciate the support. But let us know who else you're starting in your flex positions, unless you have like a Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase type of thing. I would be looking to try to shove Cordero in your lineup.
Yeah, so just to give some context, over the last 6 weeks, Mitchell and Patterson virtually back-to-back, running back 6, running back 7. Elijah Mitchell has been averaging 1 point per game more than Cordero Patterson. But these guys are, I think, both top 10 options on the week. So, again, Mark, unless your other running back is not Mixon, Taylor, Eckler, Fournette, I'm starting both Mitchell and Patterson and probably flexing another option. So thank you so much for the super chat. Appreciate you. Hopefully that gives you some ideas. We've got Caden.
Oh, so he's got Fournette and Taylor.
Okay, well then, yeah.
So sit Cordero, my dude.
Yeah, I think you just sit Cordero. Unless your platform has a wide receiver designation for Cordero Patterson, and then you can sneak him in as a wide receiver. That is something that you could look at as well. But I would play Mitchell over Patterson.
Sounds good. Let's get back up to where we're at.
Caden.
Yeah.
Start DeAndre Hopkins or Stephon Diggs.
Stephon Diggs.
I hate to be this guy. The matchup for DeAndre Hopkins is quite nice. Chicago Bears ain't nothing to be afraid of. The New England Patriots are quite the defense. We've seen that. This Monday game looks to be very weather dependent. And if we see some heavy snow and rain, this game could get a little bit ugly. It's already like a 41-point over-under. So we're not expected a ton of points in this game. Are we somewhat concerned for Stephon Diggs in that weather game, or do you think that he'll just get his regardless?
I think he's still going to get his. I'm not too concerned. I'm a little bit hesitant to trust DeAndre Hopkins early. Fair. I know he's a stud and he has a ton of upside, but I do believe that Diggs does as well, regardless of the weather.
Okay, that's fine. I'm just
Tough
looking at
one,
some.
okay.
Is Henderson out officially? No, easy. So at the beginning we said that there is like a 5% chance that he plays, but they are not optimistic that he does play this week. So we're sort of declaring him out as we're just not going to play. We're just going to be hands off. But no, he's not officially out as of right now. Jordan, Deshaun Jackson is questionable and plays at 4. Do I replace him with Tyler Boyd or gamble a less than 100% Deshaun Jackson? I would just play Tyler Boyd.
So would I.
I think Boyd is the better play. I know Djax had a big game, but it was, in typical Djax fashion off a big play. But I'm not overly thrilled with the volume. I'm just gonna go Boyd.
Yeah. See who else is available. Like if T.Y. Hilton is available in your league, I think I kind of like him over Tyler Boyd. Boyd's been bad. He will always have his games and get the PPR receptions, but see what else is available on your waiver wire.
Agreed.
Jordan.
Totally agree. Then we've got a Cole Kummet question. Cole Kummet versus Hunter Henry. 2 very different tight ends. Who you like in here, Lando?
I will go with Hunter Henry. I know he had a bad game last week, but he did get those end zone targets, as he always will, and I think he has a good chance to get those even against a tough Bills matchup. So I think Cole Kmet was limited all week. I think he will play, but I'm still going to trust Hunter Henry to get a touchdown.
Believe it or not, the Arizona Cardinals have only given up 35 fantasy points to opposing tight ends over the last 11 games. You want to do the quick math on that? That's like 3 points a week, just over 3 points a week. I know Cole Kmet had the bigger game, but I'm not overly optimistic on Cole Kmet this week, even though I like Andy Dalton as the signal caller over Justin Fields. 22 of you in the stream right now. We get to every single question every single week. If you could go ahead and toss a like on the video, that would be super appreciated. We are trying to get to 1,700 subscribers today, on road to 2,000, so every little click helps from you guys. Richie, Mike Williams or Van Jefferson in a full PPR? I get why you want to go Van Jefferson. It's maybe a small overreaction to last week, but I think you just stay put on Mike Williams.
Yeah, 9 targets last week for Van Jefferson. He's been
10 for
getting
Cup,
targets.
10 for Odell Beckham as well.
Right.
Yeah.
And with Odell being somewhat maybe limited with a hip pointer, I think Van is a slightly better play against Jacksonville. But you never know. It could be a Sony Michel run game kind of day for Van Jefferson, or just really a Cooper Kupp, which it seems always every week's a Cooper Kupp week. They're very similar players. I'm playing both of them in DFS, so I think they both could have a decent game. I need, personally, Mike Williams to have a massive game, but that seems to keep me wanting every single week as of late. Man, it's almost a coin flip for me there. Let's go Mike. Let's go big Mike Will.
I love it. Jeff coming in with a nice question. Love the wording on this one. No nonsense today, fellas. PPR, full PPR. Darnell Mooney as the Batman in Chicago or Thielen as the Robin in Detroit. Who do you like between the two there? Mooney or Thielen?
I think you have to go Thielen.
I do as well.
Man, it's hard. Like, I know Mooney is the number 1 in Chicago.
Sure.
But sometimes the Batman doesn't always save the day.
And here's the thing. Adam Thielen has been punching touchdown regression models in the face. It doesn't matter. He's involved in the red zone. He is a beautiful complement to Justin Jefferson, who's going to get a lot of attention from this Detroit secondary. I'm going to keep riding the hot hand. I know Mooney's been hot as well, but I like the Vikings offense better, who need to compete and need to put up a ton of points today. So I'm going to go with Thielen, and then also Hawkinson or Goddard.
I have Goddard right now 2 spots ahead of TJ Hawkinson. I don't mind either of them. Minnesota is such a good defense to target. I do believe that TJ has a higher ceiling, but Goddard has just a great matchup as well. At the time, I didn't know the quarterback situation in Philadelphia, so it's almost a coin flip for me as well there.
Minshew's just a better passer, so I do think you can put a little bit more confidence into some of the pass catchers this week for the Eagles. So I'm okay with Goddard. I would personally go Hawkinson, but I think they're both in a very similar outcome this week.
Is there a fantasy analyst that hates Jalen Hurts more than you, Mac?
No, I
doubt
think
it.
I doubt it. Hate's a strong word. I just don't think he's very good.
I'm just kidding.
I don't think he's very good. PPR pick 2 from your boy War, Elijah Moore, Russell Gage, AJ Green, Devonte Parker. Please excuse me while I puke. Thanks for putting me on video while I announced that question. Man.
So Elijah Moore is the locked-in player, right?
Agreed. Now, do you want to start Russell Gage against the Buccaneers?
No.
I honestly think AJ Green is probably the most attractive play here. He seems to be just involved, mixed in. It's either him or Christian Kirk.
Is Devonte Parker?
I don't even think he's playing.
He's been activated off IR.
It still doesn't get me excited, to be honest.
First day back. No.
I'll rank them: Moore, Green, Gage, Parker. That's the way I would go.
Okay. Let me know who you can text me or who, if you have players on the waiver wire that are interesting, like a T.Y. Hilton, I would play kind of over against in a really good matchup against Houston.
Mm-hmm.
I would probably start him over those guys right now. But yeah, tough one. Very, very tough one.
Mark Hill had one more question about Patterson over Mitchell. We said Mitchell over Patterson. Patterson's up against Tampa Bay D. That's sort of why we would lean Mitchell. Mitchell's played 8 games this season, has broken 100 yards in 4 of those games, and the 5th game he had 91 yards. He is an absolute machine, averaging 16.5 fantasy points per game over the last 6, the running back 6 as of late. So I'm going Mitchell over Patterson solely because of the matchup there. It's not that I don't think Cordero isn't a good play. I just think that the matchup is better for 2 options that are so closely ranked this week. So that's where I'm going.
Sorry if we were confusing, but yeah, it's Mitchell over Patterson. Start Elijah correct. Mitchell.
Yeah. Gary, how do you become a member? You just have to, if you're on desktop. If you're on mobile, it won't work. For whatever reason, the option isn't there. But if you're on desktop, beside the subscribe button, you'll see a little join button. And you can become a member. Good time to talk about that. We are giving away a Dalvin Cook signed jersey to one of our YouTube members at the end of this year. So it is JSA certified, is from Pristine Auction. We also have a Clyde Edwards-Helaire jersey to give away as well, which will go towards a member of the Discord. So you guys can get into the Discord for free, but being a member does get you some extra perks. So you guys
we do a live stream as well. So yeah, if you want more one-on-one personal time with us, it'll be a members only live stream. Like, this is a subscribers only live stream. We do an extra show for a members only. Right. This year it's going to start, or it's probably going to be December 29th, right before New Year's. As long as we're
right before fantasy championships.
Absolutely.
Easy playing catch up on fantasy news this week. Can always count on the Snap Army for all the news and advice. You know we got you. Jacob, pick 2 in a full PPR: Van Jefferson, Deshaun Jackson, and Elijah Moore. I'll speak for Lando. Just sit down, Deshaun Jackson.
Yeah. Would you start Hardman over or any of those guys that Warren laid out?
No.
McCole, Hardman.
No.
Okay, so AJ Green over McCole. So we started Elijah and AJ.
McCole Hardman has proven that he just can't be trusted. Yes, there is a big game in there somewhere, but it's like searching for a needle in a haystack. You just don't know when and where you're going to find it.
Yeah. With Kyler back, AJ should be at least considered in the flex. Even though we haven't seen it lately, it's been tough with Colt McCoy.
I agree. Do we have a line on some weather games? I know that the Monday game is expected to be poor. But other than that, I don't know if we have anything.
Let me find that for you.
You got it.
So
I'll handle some questions while you do that. Mohammed, what do you think of the Dolphins defense against the Giants offense? I like the Dolphins this week. I'm playing them in several DFS contests. So, Mohammed, I do like the Dolphins D against the Giants.
As of right now, 36 Fahrenheit and rain with the Bears game against the Cardinals.
Cold and rainy.
Yeah, cold and rainy. So that's the only one right now that that has anything. The Patriots Bills game right now is 30 degrees and overcast and has 19-mile-an-hour winds, which it won't be too bad. It's just going to be cold as of right now for the Bills game.
Right. Also from Mohammed, what do you think about trading Chubb for a player like Tyreek Hill? My wideout selection could be better. My other running backs are Mitchell, Madison, and Jamal Williams. I mean, with Madison and Jamal Williams, you're looking super solid this week, but long term, you might not be in as good of a spot. I don't think Cook or Swift will be out longer than just 1 week. These guys are great backups, but you know that they're going to be relegated to secondary work. So trading away Chubb at this point is tough. I think Tyreek helps you get into the playoffs, but when do the Chiefs have a bye? Is it next week?
They had a bye last week.
Last week. Okay, so they're done. Look, I think if you need to make this trade to keep your playoff hopes alive, you do it and you figure out your running back situation later. But if you're in good shape, I would hang on to Chubb, to be completely honest.
If you could get a running back on the back of his roster or her roster that they don't want or need, like a Damien Harris type, then that could at least help you later on.
Yeah.
Get like someone like, if you could say like the worst running back on their team that has maybe starting roles, like Miles Sanders or something, like someone that they hate, try to get them included the deal if it's possible.
Yep.
You're getting a lot for Chubb. Getting Tyreek just
agreed.
A little bit tricky.
Brandon Phillips, I made a big trade for CMC during the first IR stint, and now I'm low on depth with Henderson projected to be out. Should I start Jamal Williams or Javonte Williams?
Jamal or Javonte? That's the question of the day.
It's
really.
Javonte for me.
Yeah. I think Jamal's in for a good game, but I do think that Javonte is slightly better. It doesn't show in my rankings because at the time we still had Melvin Gordon playing.
Right.
I would move Javonte as a fringe running back 1, close to running back 14 on the week, I would say. I'd probably flip-flop the two.
Yeah, so I think when you look at these two, it really comes down to who will have the better game, because we know that they're both going to be used. I think that Denver KC game has the chance to be really competitive given that it is a divisional game. So I'm going to lean Javonte Williams, who has done a lot with a 45% snap share. What happens when we bump him up to 70, 75? I think really, really good things are coming because he can do it in all facets of the game. Rushing, passing, who knows? He can probably throw a touchdown or two as well. Feels Seriously. Like the guy can do it all. So I'm going to go with Javonte Williams.
Yeah, I'm really hoping so. He's a great play.
And then also from Brandon in a full PPR for another league, pick 3 from the group: Antonio Gibson, Alexander Madison, Cordero, Mike Evans, and Michael Pittman. That's a really, really solid list.
So Gibson and Madison are kind of locked in for me there. Then I think I go Mike Evans slightly over Cordero.
Yeah, I believe I agree with that. Cordero is safe. We know that he's going to be used. It's just how solid can he be against a really, really good Bucs defense? There's probably going to be a ton of pressure on Matt Ryan. I don't expect the ball to come out quick. Matt Ryan is taking a ton of sacks. So I'm going to just go with you and lean Mike Evans there. I think the Bucs will do a lot today. Yeah. I would order them Gibson, Madison, Evans, Pittman, Patterson. Pittman, Patterson. That's what I would do.
There you go.
Yep. Start 2 from Fred Lee, Devonte Parker, Rashad Bateman, or Cole Beasley.
Oh.
I think I'm just going to be off Devonte Parker. I'm going to go Bateman and Beasley.
Yep, I think so too.
Believe the hype. What is going on, Eric? What is going on?
Thanks for coming in.
Absolutely. Your boy War's got another question. Standard, OBJ or Mike Williams?
Oh,
Mike Willie.
that feels gross too.
It does.
You just go Mike.
Can you have a chat with Warren this week about, keeping questions appropriate and non-nauseating?
Yeah, it's a tough go. I mean, man, Mike looked so good in the first half of the year. It just feels like you can't trust him anymore. I think he has a good bounce back game. He left the game healthy. He wasn't used that much last week, so maybe he's ready to go. The rumor all season or for the second half has been he's been banged up all year or half the year. He doesn't look like himself. Now maybe he does. It's possible.
Believe the hype. I'm a lock for the playoffs, so I traded Saquon and Mooney for Dalvin Cook. Is that a really bad trade for me? Laugh out loud. My only wide receivers are Waddle and Kupp, so I could afford giving away Mooney, and now my running backs are Eli, Monty, and Cook. No, I think you're fine.
You're fine.
If you're a lock for the playoffs, you have time. Saquon's been underwhelming. Mooney has been really impressive the last handful of weeks, but there's a quarterback situation we got to monitor there in Chicago. I'd rather have Cook over Saquon, and Mooney, given Waddle and Kupp, is just going to be a flex option for you. So Eli, Monty, Cook, really solid trio running backs. I would play those guys each and every week over Darnell Mooney, so I think you're fine.
Sounds good.
Those are the sort of trades that you need to make in order to win your league. You need to do 2-for-1s in order to upgrade, and I think that Dalvin Cook is a huge upgrade over a guy like Saquon Barkley at this point in time. Whereas, like I said, Darnell Mooney, you're not starting over any of those running backs. So you kind of have a really nice piece in Darnell Mooney that you can't do anything with, and that's why you do 2-for-1s.
Sounds good. So Eric has a great question. We haven't talked about Damien Harris yet. I'm staring that starts it in the face for myself between Damien Harris and Miles Sanders. So now we have Damien Harris or Elijah Moore in a full PPR league. Do you have faith that Elijah Moore has a big game, or do you go with the floor play, the perceived floor play that a running back typically gives you against Buffalo?
I would just rather take the better matchup, and I think that's Elijah Moore over Damien Harris. I don't want to have my matchup come down to Damien Harris on a Monday night in a bad weather game against the best run defense in football. I know that they just got torched by a guy named Jonathan Taylor, but no one's been able to stop him. So I'm going to sort of count that one as an outlier, but they are the best run defense on the year. Bad weather game, Monday night, I'm staying away from Damien Harris. Give me Elijah Moore, please, and thanks against the Eagles.
Sounds good. I do think there's a chance that Damien Harris has a good game. The Bills haven't played a ton of good running backs or running teams, but they got rinsed twice against like you said, Jonathan Taylor, and I think they had who else had a really good game against them? It's escaping me, but there's been two really good games.
Derrick Henry.
Oh yeah, Derrick Henry. Yeah.
Yeah.
So some of the two. I mean, Damien Harris is not a very good running back, or at least, but their team is a good running team.
And like you said, there's a chance he has a good game. There's also a chance that a meteor comes through my window any moment. But I'm not counting on either. I'm not counting on either to happen. Eric, hey guys. Oh no, we just got that one. Connor, J-Rob or Sony Michel? This is an interesting question.
This is interesting, and it just basically depends on your risk level. I do think that J-Rob has a higher risk level than Sony Michel, given that he's been banged up all week. He's a better talent than Sony. He's been doing better in the face of volume than Sony Michel, but now Sony has a very good opportunity with Darrell Henderson presumed out. If for some reason Darrell Henderson is a surprise active, just go James Robinson. But I think the play is Sony if Henderson is indeed out.
There also is that element where James Robinson might give it a go, but might not be fully healthy. The matchup just isn't great for them. And I'm not overly bullish on Sony Michel either. He's at the bottom of the list for sort of secondary running backs that are getting a upgrade this week, a promotion. But it's a coin flip. I think the better game probably is with Robinson, but there is some risk involved with that as well.
Sounds good.
Claire, welcome back into the stream. Some gross start decisions, as always, for your 12-team league. Half PPR Dynasty, Ty Johnson or Kenny Gainwell, or drop Geo, Cobb, or MVS to flex Rex Burkhead instead, projected to lose by 8. Wow. I don't think Ty Johnson is a bad option this week, honestly.
He was supposed to be a good option last week, but then they brought in a bunch of no-name guys to steal
That's
work.
Right. Yeah. Dan. Like, Geo, I'm not considering really playing. He hasn't really done much. He hasn't materialized as that, like, go-to pass catcher. It really has just been the Leonard Fournette show there. So I don't think that they need Geo. I don't think he's somebody I would use. And then Cobb and MVS are on bye this week. So Rex Burkhead, I understand why people are going there. I don't know that I start Rex Burkhead over Johnson or Gainwell. I think those two guys are better options, to be honest with you.
Gainwell's been a super frustrating guy to play. He got a lot of snaps early in the season, but he only logged 11 total snaps, 16% of snaps this past week against the Giants. Even with Miles Sanders banged up with an ankle, he didn't see much work. It was Boston Scott. Now Boston Scott will play, but he's been ill all week, so Boston Scott is no longer a very good play. But either way, that's a really gross one, Claire.
Well, Jordan Howard is not going to play. Boston
out.
Scott is out. This should just be Miles Sanders and maybe Kenny Damien. Should be being the operative word. Eric said, chance of Damien Harris having a good game equals chance of Meteor going through my window. Got it. That's kind of what I'm saying.
So let me just put him on my bench real quick. He's been back and forth all day.
Temmie, trading for Javonte Williams is looking great now. Thanks for the advice. Hope he has another good game this week. Temmie, I think this might be the changing of the guard. If Javonte Williams can come out and ball in a very competitive game, I think we see more Javonte, less Melvin going forward. So this could be the changing of the guard, the passing of the torch from one back to the next. I hope so.
Everyone, welcome to the chat. Please like this video if you can. It helps us a lot. Stuart, Salim, everyone coming in, we appreciate you coming in. Make sure to toss a quick like on the video.
Absolutely. Stuart, to answer your question, Russell Wilson or Carson Wentz, we already had this one in the stream, but that's okay. Welcome in. We're going Carson Wentz. He has been the better quarterback recently. He's a top 12 quarterback on the year. He has a wonderful matchup, and I'm just not going to play Russell Wilson until I see things improve. So I'm not going to let him let me down in my starting spot anymore. I'm going to let him do so on my bench, and if he proves me wrong, then I can start him moving forward. But Carson Wentz is a great option this week against the Houston Texans.
I think so, too.
I think we got Mohammed.
Yeah,
Chubb costed me last week, lost with 5 points. Kareem Hunt taking half the snaps. I also have Devonta Freeman on my bench. My wideouts are Kirk and Gallup. What do you think? I think you play Nick Chubb.
I think you they're on.
Or no, sorry, duh.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna take a quick mental timeout for that one.
Gallup. If you didn't start Gallup, I mean, he already played this week. So between, I think Kirk, I think we answered a similar question, Mohammed, for you. I think we're gonna go with Christian Kirk. Especially if you didn't start Gallup. Gallup's was a great play on Thursday night.
I mean, I hope you did start Gallup.
Yep.
What did he have, like 12 or 13 fantasy points in half PPR leagues? That touchdown to start was awesome. Yeah, for those of you that don't know or don't have it in the front of your brain like I just didn't have, the Browns, Panthers, Packers, and Titans are on bye this week. I think Devonta Freeman is an okay play against the Pittsburgh Steelers. If you have no other options, I think that's what you roll with. But Chubb's fine moving forward. I think bringing that up, maybe there's some concern there. I think Chubb is fine. I don't know if I'd overreact or anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not too concerned with Chubb going forward. There was always a timeshare with Kareem Hunt being back, but we still saw Chubb be a very viable play. I think that the Browns are going to battle for a playoff spot, and Chubb will be a beneficiary of that. I'm not too concerned with Chubb.
Salim will be to your question in just a moment. We got Griffin coming in. Green names get the priority here. Members of the show, Mooney, Monty, Bateman, PPR need a bigger game. I would order those, Griff, Monty, Mooney, Bateman. That would be my order.
Monty, Mooney, Bateman. Yep, I like that, Griff. Good luck, sir. I know he's got about 100 leagues,
100.
not exaggerating.
Correct. No, it's actually like 100.
Yeah, more probably.
Salim, can you guys pick 3? Jamal Williams, Brandon Ayuk, Elijah Moore, Miles Sanders, OBJ, and Jerry Jeudy in a full PPR. I think the first 2 names on your list are really locked and loaded for me. Jamal Williams, Brandon Ayuk.
Correct.
Both having sort of increased workloads this week with Deebo Samuel and DeAndre Swift being out. It really comes down to who is that tertiary piece we're going to roll with. Who do you like? Moore, Sanders, OBJ, and Jeudy?
Based on what Miles Sanders did to me last week, sitting on the sideline with an ankle injury, I will go with Elijah Moore. Now, there's no injury designation for Miles Sanders, but he still gives me hesitance starting him and trusting him, especially when you have a big upside play like Elijah Moore.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I lean. If it was between Sanders, Jeudy, and OBJ, then I will lean Miles Sanders.
Sure.
But because you have Elijah Moore, that seems to be a real good breakout candidate for a rookie wide receiver. I know he wasn't that good with Zach Wilson last week, but I think he will be fine. They know to get the play. He's the best player on that team right now, on the offense anyways. So I think they will get Elijah Moore the ball, even though Zach Wilson looks like crap.
Yeah. It's really tempting to say go Jerry Jeudy, but when you look at Teddy Bridgewater, like 3 targets to Sutton, 3 targets to Jeudy, 3 targets to Tim Patrick, it's not overly encouraging to have such low volume, and with low volume comes low opportunity, low ceiling. So I'm just gonna go with Lando on probably the higher, bigger play is just Elijah Moore. Hate to say it, but it is.
It's just, I know Miles Sanders has a great matchup, and it's very tempting to do it. I'm just so hesitant to start him. I hope he's fully healthy. If he's fully healthy, he should be a great play. And I'm willing to start him in DraftKings, because if you're not first, you're last, almost in that format.
Seriously though.
So that's what you need. If you need a big play, if you need a great play, you're down. You need sure, Miles Sanders. If he gets you 4 points, you're gonna lose anyways. But if he gets you 20, you actually win your matchup or win $1 million. That's where you go.
I agree. Mark Hill coming in with another super chat, $2 super chat. Thanks, Mark. Appreciate it. My guy. He wants to know Devonte Parker or Jameson Crowder. 2 sort of wide receiver 4 options, I think, at best this week. I'm going to go with Jameson Crowder, who we just have a larger sample size from, who has a decent matchup against the Eagles this week. I mean, the matchup...
He had his worst game of the year last week, only getting 1 target, 1 reception. Again, that's the Zach Wilson effect. Mm-hmm. But before that, he was more consistent. But that was without Zach Wilson, but he was seeing more targets throughout the year last 5-6 games.
Yeah, we just know that Jameson Crowder can have the volume, and that's what we want. Devonte Parker is an unknown commodity at this point in time. And yes, they have the Giants, which is also a decent matchup as well. But I'm just not looking to play Devonte Parker this week. So I'm rolling out Jameson Crowder, hoping that he does get the volume that we have seen this year. I think Devonte Parker is just too much of an unknown for me to confidently recommend to you, Mark. So that's where I'm going to go.
Yeah, I don't want to. Devonte Parker, I think, is a very good player, and last time he played, he saw 11 targets, which 85 yards, great. When he's been playing, he's actually been very good this year. It's just coming off a hamstring, you don't want to see him play a handful of snaps and then leave the game. They're on bye next week, so there's reason to think that they might be more careful with him going forward. I know he's been activated, but there's that risk level that I just don't really want to trust with Devonte Parker. I'd rather just wait to see him finish the game healthy, go off on your bench, and then you're locked and loaded against the Jets in Week 15.
Sure, yeah. Ryan Temps, great job again this week, boys. How does my team in League of Record have only 2 less wins than the Macau River Rats?
You know what? You've got Jonathan Taylor on your team, Ryan, so that's probably why your team's not terrible. Not as bad as maybe I thought it was going to be preseason, but you're looking good. Deontay Johnson, Tyler Lockett, Kyle Pitts, Claypool. Your team's kind of turning it around. You're in rebuild mode, but I think you have a lot of decent pieces um, to compete in a few years there, Ryan.
I would love to have Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah.
If y'all want to help a boy out, get Jonathan Taylor over here. I would love you guys for that. But I don't know. I really don't know how your team has 2 less wins than mine. My team's all right though. It's coming around. Javonte's gonna have a big week this week. Joe Mixon's been doing his thing. Eli Mitchell's been balling. I got Jamar Chase. My team's looking up, Rye. It's looking up. But you guys are doing a nice job rebuilding. So I'm curious to see where your team goes from here. But Jonathan Taylor's a beautiful piece to have. So congrats on that.
He is indeed.
Griff said 108 leagues to be exact. So we literally weren't joking. The guy has over 100 teams. Some of them are best ball, so we'll give him that. But
yeah. Mark, if you want to DM us on Instagram or Twitter or
get into the Discord, it's a great place.
We'll get you a link to the private Discord server with your generous tipping every single week, Mark. We appreciate you coming in, and we'll get you all set up for the fantasy playoffs.
Yes. Stuart, sorry guys, I was in late. In which case, can I ask Hawkinson or Friarmuth? Friarmuth seems to be a more reliant option in terms of touchdowns, but Hawkinson is almost guaranteed the volume. This is the exact conversation Landon and I have every single week, it seems. It's TJ Hawkinson's volume for me is very consistent and reliable, and if he can get into the end zone, he is going to be a top tight end on the week. No question about it. The Vikings are a team you can target in the passing game. I'm not afraid of their secondary. I think even Jared Goff can navigate that secondary. So I'm going to go with TJ.
So am I.
You're going to go with TJ over Friarmuth.
Yeah, Pat was in concussion protocol all week. Tough matchup against Baltimore. The Pittsburgh offense looks dreadful.
It does.
Friarmuth has been getting the kind of red zone looks, but I still think it could be a Najee kind of game too for him.
Yeah.
So I'm going TJ over Pat.
Okay. And I'm with you on that one. It just feels like TJ Hawkinson is destined for a good game. Like it's just got to turn around. So solid. Such good options.
Yep. I love targeting the Minnesota defense.
Well, I mean, why not?
Yeah.
We've got a defense question from Gator Fan. Who are your top 5 defenses this week?
So you got to love the Buccaneers versus Atlanta.
You do?
I think the Dolphins against the New York Giants is really good as well.
Yeah, we've seen Mike Glennon have some turnover issues. Absolutely.
Yep.
I think the Colts against the Texans is really appealing as well.
Yep.
Rams
probably
against the Jags.
Eagles 2 versus the Jets.
Yeah, I think that's where I would go 5. Yeah, definitely top 5. Probably for me in the order, it'll be Tampa Bay, Miami, Colts, Rams, Eagles. Yeah, Bucks, Dolphins, Colts, Rams, Eagles. That's the top 5 for me.
There's some good, like Cardinals are also in consideration.
Cardinals are in consideration. I think Andy Dalton is just more competent than people give him credit for.
Yeah, no, you might not turn the ball over as much.
Yeah. Do you see any of the following players having a big week this week? Mark Andrews, Keenan Allen, or James Conner? I think they're all of them in good consideration. Mark Andrews is the second best tight end on the year, only 10 points behind Travis Kelce when you factor in their differential in draft capital, like how many rounds they were apart. Mark Andrews has been far and away the more valuable piece. Pittsburgh.
Mark Andrews is winning more people
leagues than Travis Kelce is. Exactly.
Correct.
Keenan Allen against the Bengals. I mean, that's a beautiful matchup on either side of the ball. I think that game is going to be probably the most interesting game of the week. So many fantasy relevant pieces in that game. I hope it's a shootout. I really, really do.
Yeah.
James Conner's in line for a lot of good touches, high value touches this week as well. I think all of them have really good chances there, Gator Fan.
Of course, James Conner, with all the opportunity, is going to look good, especially with Kyler Murray maybe not running as much. The biggest hesitancy of running backs for the Cardinals is that Kyler was taking so much in himself, kind of like Baltimore, kind of like Buffalo, that kind of thing. But now if he's limited, they might just hand the ball off more frequently, and
Right.
James Conner will be the recipient of that.
Let's do. We got Julian Greenberg. Hey, could Cordero Patterson get points as an offensive player while being on defense for NFL?
There was a rumor somewhere about Cordero playing defense.
Actually,
I think so. uh,
Interesting. Mark Hill, welcome to the Discord. Appreciate you joining. I haven't heard that, so I'm sort of out on that one. That's a really good question, though, Julian. I don't know. Lando's going to do some due diligence on that one, though.
So he came out and said, I want to catch an interception.
Gotcha.
My next goal in the NFL is to catch an interception. That's his goal. So I doubt that the Falcons will actually put him as like a safety or anything. Like that would be the perfect finish to Cordero's crazy Swiss Army knife season. Like he's a wide receiver, running back. If he plays
both sides of the ball
and defense, yeah.
What would be amazing is that if he played in an IDP league and he somehow got like a safety designation, you could toss him in there. That would be complete cheating.
That would be complete cheating. And we've seen that before with quarterbacks playing tight end and getting the tight end designation.
Yeah.
So it depends if your league settings. We've seen sometimes that a player will get a point for a tackle, even if you don't have IDPs in your league. So it's possible. It just depends on your settings in your league. If you give no points for that kind of thing, then you're not going to get any points for an INT.
Yep. We've got some questions here coming in about Kyler Murray. If we should go either Matt Stafford or Christian Kirk from Zach and Shino. Kyler Murray is our QB3 on the week?
Kyler Murray we did have up there, but I had him down at quarterback 9.
Oh, okay.
Right in front of Kirk Cousins.
Gotcha. All right. I thought we had him.
So, Brady, Herbert, Lamar, Mahomes, Josh Allen, Stafford. I put Dak in there.
Yep.
Jalen Hurts. So I guess Jalen Hurts is no longer playing.
So we can
Kyler. So it would be our quarterback 8 on the week.
Okay. I think I personally just start Kyler over both. I do think that Kirk and Stafford are both really nice options this week as well. The upside for Kyler is that he can do it with his legs. Am I expecting that this week? No. So really it's like who will have the better passing day? Kirk is super accurate. I think Jefferson and Thielen really have a chance to do something special today. And Alexander Mattison has been a really serviceable backup. I'm kind of talking myself into starting Kirk over Kyler.
Yeah, Kirk is he's like number 11 quarterback on the season. Now the difference, and like Max said, the difference between Kyler Murray, not only he can be quarterback 1, he could be far and away quarterback 1. He could put up 40 plus fantasy points, and if he is fully healthy, which is possible, that's where the upside lies. Kirk and Stafford don't have that chance unless they throw 6 touchdowns, which is extremely unlikely. So that's where depending on what you need, safety play, go with Kirk Cousins against Detroit, great matchup. Upside play, Kyler Murray, and then Stafford will be I think is a fine play too against Jacksonville.
I would play Kyler over Stafford. Kirk and Kyler are closer, but the bigger game does exist with Kyler Murray. So I'm just going to say Kyler Murray there. Kind of go against.
Sounds good. Austin, welcome to the party.
Welcome.
Toss a like. I know you probably already have, Austin, but appreciate you. He's a Snap Army member that hopefully he wins a Dalvin Cook signed jersey. Hey. If y'all want a chance to win, hit that membership button. You get a link to our private Discord. You also get a members only live stream where we can go over your entire team, get you ready for the fantasy playoffs. We'll look at your waiver wires if you guys want to pick up defenses or backups, and we'll look at the matchups going forward and see how good your team looks going into the playoffs. Hit that join button, and in 3 short weeks, we will be doing a private stream just for you.
Yes. Gator fans, sweet. Have all 3 of those players that we talked about, Keenan Allen, James Conner, and Mark Andrews. Also have Taysom Hill, who had a great game. Kyler Murray as a 2-quarterback slot should be really, really solid.
Gator fan loves confirmation bias.
He does. I think we all do, though. We all do.
It's true. We all do.
Yeah. Austin, Standard League, pick 2, Eli, Moore, Kendrick Bourne, Van Jefferson, Sony. Other one, full PPR, Bourne, Bateman, or Kirk. All right. Standard League, pick 2. I'm going to go Elijah Moore and Van Jefferson. I'm going to sit down Kendrick Bourne. I'm not going to overreact to that 2-touchdown performance, especially against the Buffalo Bills on a cold, windy, rainy / snowy Monday night game.
Bourne is the discount Cordero Patterson, right?
Yeah.
That's him. He hasn't logged more than 60% snap share, but he's getting multiple touchdowns. So there you go. 55% snap share last week, only getting 5-6 targets, getting 2 touchdowns. Thanks for coming out, Kendrick Bourne.
Yep. And then the other one in a full PPR, Bourne, Bateman, or Kirk. I would order them Kirk, Bateman, Bourne.
Love it.
Yep. Muhammad says, sorry for the mental breakdown. I was talking about if I should trade Chubb for better wideouts because Gallup and Kirk aren't too good. Gotcha. No, I would hang on to Nick Chubb.
Yeah.
I absolutely
Now,
would.
again, we mentioned if you can get a low-end running back in return, or trading away Chubb, then then it's not bad if you get a Tyreek Hill type player. Sorry, we get so many questions, I forget your specific scenario, but we do appreciate the questions, my dude.
Mohammed, if you haven't already joined the Discord, you could pop in there, and that's a better place to get some feedback. You can send us screenshots of your team and your trade partners team, and we can help you sort of craft an offer. So that's sort of a really good way for you to approach that. If you want more input, it's free to join. The link to that is in the description of the show. So you can go ahead and click that, open it, and join the Discord.
And if you want to sit at the adults table, join the membership.
Right. Join the membership. Tyler Lowe, Elijah Moore, OBJ, Devonte Parker, Jerry Jeudy, pick 1. I think Elijah Moore has the best game this week.
Yeah, I understand people's hesitancy to rely on him with what happened last week with Zach Wilson, but I think I'm still willing to trust him another week and not overreact to the big game and the banged up Odell Beckham Jr.
The adult table of fantasy football. That is a great way to put the private Discord.
You like
That's
that
great.
one?
It's awesome. Griff coming in with an absolute banger of a welcome message. Do we want to talk some quick as we get some more questions filtering in soon? Do we want to talk a quick live lineup for DFS? I've been itching to get some DraftKings going. Earlier I did a Gardner Minshew led contest, and I really liked what I was able to do, getting in some like elite options like Justin Jefferson and Jonathan Taylor. So I really liked that.
Looks like the Millionaire Maker is full, so we got to do a different lineup here.
Yeah, I'm going to do
I'm going the pylon, single entry $3 pylon.
Sure.
Is where I'm going here.
I like that.
So while I do this, Gabe, do I start T. Higgins or Tyler Lockett for this week? I have Adams on bye. I think I go Tyler Lockett, Gabe.
I would as well.
Sounds good. Now we're going to talk through a DraftKings lineup live. We will still answer your questions, but we'll go through the live. So Mac, who is your quarterback going to be for this lineup
here? Well, whoo boy,
Carson Wentz or Joe Burrow is where my eyes go.
Yeah, you know what? I haven't done one with Carson Wentz yet, and I do like that. Like I said, I spent down and went Gardner Minshew, and it felt really good. I think I went him, Sanders, and Devonte Smith. I really just sort of went for it there.
So Wentz with Pittman stack, so it gets off of the Jonathan Taylor chalk.
Yeah, I think and that's the thing. I have Jonathan Taylor in a couple lineups, so I'm with you. Let's go Wentz and Pittman, and we'll sort of pivot off of there. But Wentz and Pittman are nice, and Wentz is 6,100. Pittman's only 5,700.
Do you go with T.Y. Hilton as well?
No, I'm not going. I'm not going T.Y. Hilton.
You're not going that much. Okay.
I don't think his ceiling's high enough, to be completely honest with you.
Right. So now this is what I typically do, guys. I'm gonna go to defense right away.
Same thing.
Yeah. So I think I like to pay down at defense.
You go way down though. You have the Jags in one contest.
I've got the Jags against the Rams
crazy,
for sure.
Bro.
It just seems it works out for me more than not. And if it gets me zero, it gets me zero. But again, you have so much more flexibility. 2,300 versus a 3,500 defense.
Yeah, honestly I like the Dolphins against the Giants, especially with Mike Glennon starting. So at 3,300, I think I'm fine spending there. Wentz, Pittman, Dolphins D so far for me.
So I'm gonna go Washington football against the Vegas. So Claire has a question. Would you rather have Darnell Mooney rest of the season over Odell Beckham, Parker, or Judy in a PPR league? Consider dropping one for Mooney. Yeah. So I like. This can't be dynasty, right, Claire? This
gotta be.
This can't be.
Darnell. Jefferson, Keenan, Devonte Smith, and Hunter Renfrow.
So I would drop Devonte Parker.
In a heartbeat right now. Absolutely in a heartbeat. Even in especially in a dynasty, if it is.
Especially in a dynasty, yeah, I would drop Parker and pick up Darnell Mooney. Claire, absolutely do that right now.
What's the difference in ceiling between like a healthy, utilized Devonte Parker and Darnell Mooney? Like there's no difference. There's so much more upside for Darnell Mooney at this point in time.
Mooney got 16 targets 2 weeks ago against Baltimore.
Yeah, I think it's absolutely Mooney. There's no reason to have Devonte Parker on that team.
Yeah, we're kind of out.
18 PPR.
18 PPR. That's why Darnell's on the waiver wire.
Man up. What are your league mates doing? Yeah. I know it's shallow, but I mean you got to get somebody with that kind of volume. Austin Grant, Claypool, or Hopkins at wide receiver 2. I'm not afraid of playing DeAndre Hopkins this week, and to show you how I feel about that, I'm going to put my money where my mouth is and put DeAndre Hopkins in my lineup at $6,200.
I like it. I'm going to play Brandon Cooks as a run back in this matchup.
You love your game theory, eh?
I like my game theory. If it's a high game total, we're expecting Houston to pass a lot, and I think Brandon Cooks can be okay. I might double stack and go with Jack Doyle at tight end as well.
Okay.
So I've got Wentz, Pittman, and Doyle as a triple stack. My bring back is Brandon Cooks, and now I got an average of 6,600 for the rest of my guys.
I have Sony Michel in the crosshairs here, $4,300 against the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think he'll be highly owned, but I do think that gives me some better options. A little bit more budget to spend. I'm also going to spend down at tight end. You know where I'm going. $2,700, Foster Moreau. I know he'll be chalk, but I'm going to
go Eli Mitchell again at Seattle, and then with that, I'm going to do a little skinny stack and play DK Metcalf in the same game.
That's going to be a low-owned option, so I do like that.
Little correlation there,
I'm also going to go Eli Mitchell. 6,000 is not enough money for him, so I'm going to go Eli Mitchell. I've got $7,850 per player remaining. I could really spend up and get myself like a Justin Jefferson, a Cooper Kupp even.
Joe Mixon.
Yeah, I mean, I could also get in the flex. I could go with that tri-stack of Wentz, Taylor, Pittman. I just have Jonathan Taylor in so many lineups already. Now, if he hits, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
If he doesn't, well, we got issues.
So, I like Eckler, but he's 8,300. He's expensive.
The question is, with the money that I have remaining, do I go spend up at running back so that there are more options at quarterback, or not quarterback, wide receiver?
I'm going to go Antonio Gibson, $5,700. I think he's too cheap there as well.
Interesting.
I have 8,100 for my final play, and I'm going Joe Mixon. There's my lineup.
Wow, Joe Mixon, eh?
So I've got Wentz, Gibson, Mitchell with Mixon as my flex. I have Brandon Cooks, Metcalf, Pittman, Jack Doyle and Washington football defense. Submit that. I like that lineup actually a lot.
$100 away from Jonathan Taylor and Chris Godwin, so I'm going to pivot.
Cheaper D.
I know I could. I absolutely could. Why don't I go with... see, that just doesn't leave me enough money. I was going to go Jamar Chase. You know what? This is nice game theory. Jamar Chase, and then run it back with Austin Eckler.
Yes. I love that a lot.
There we go. So I have Wentz, Eli Mitchell, Sony Michel, Jamar Chase, DeAndre Hopkins, Michael Pittman, Foster Moreau, Austin Eckler, and Dolphins D. Claire, so now I'm the proud owner of Darnell Mooney. Should I flex him over Renfrow, currently projected to lose by 5? I think Mooney has the higher ceiling, and that sounds like that's what you need. I mean, Hunter Renfrow is super safe, but he's not the high ceiling play. So I would switch and go Mooney. Claire, you might have just made yourself a win there.
And you know what? If you lose, you lose, and they might put up similar points. But
that's the thing. When you need to swing for the fences, there's no shame in going down swinging. You know?
Yeah, if Renfrow outscores Mooney by 3 points, is that going to make a difference? Probably not. The unlikelihood of Renfrow outscoring Mooney by 10 to 13 is low, where there's a higher likelihood that Mooney does that as well. Or that five difference that you need to win. You could get that with 100%. Mooney. Just some game theory, Claire. I hope it works out for you. Best of luck. Thanks, everyone, for coming by. Hopefully you enjoyed that little DraftKings. If you like our content, join our Discord. Join our YouTube membership. Make sure to come by this week. Maybe we'll have more content. Maybe we'll go live this week a little more often.
Hey.
Let us know if you like that.
I'm just kidding. Lando's signing us up for bonus stuff, which there
we go. Every day this week, we're going
live.
Oh, my God. Mac by himself.
My. I don't have
I'm busy, but Mac will go live.
Yeah, thanks, Lando. You want to fix my flex here?
Yeah, sure.
I've got Darrell Henderson currently in one of my flex spots. Now, we're pessimistic at this point about Darrell Henderson. We don't think he's going to play. He hasn't officially been ruled out like our graphic does say, but we did clarify at the beginning of the stream, we don't think he's going to play. So my options for the flex, and I already have TJ Hawkinson, Chris Godwin, and Adam Thielen in the flex. Kenny Golladay, Zach Ertz, Tyler Higbee, Kyle Pitts. Who do you like?
Okay, I gotta... I don't love Kenny Golladay.
Kenny Galladay's out.
Yeah, Kyle Pitts is,
it's Kyle Pitts or Zach Ertz. Who do you like out of those two?
Oh, boy. I hate going with tight ends and the flex, but I think they're
my best options. I've got DeAndre Swift out. I've got Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon on bye. Kenny Golladay, Anthony Miller, N'Keal Harry, Zach Ertz, Tyler Higbee, Kyle Pitts. Those are my other options.
Okay, I think you just go Zach Ertz. Hopefully he has a good relationship with Kyler. We haven't seen it yet, but hopefully we do.
Okay.
Rolando, it's hard to go wrong between Hawkinson or Goddard. We went Goddard slightly with Minshew at quarterback being a little bit more accurate than Jalen Hurts. If no Henderson, which we're not expecting, Bateman or Breida, full PPR, I will go Bateman. Rolando, thanks for coming by, my dude. Sorry it's last minute. We're just kind of signing off here shortly, but if anyone has any final questions, or if you have opinions on Mackenzie's flex, let us know.
Help a brother out. I'm tempted to go Kyle Pitts. What kind of game do you think that he has? We haven't really answered any questions to do with Kyle Pitts yet.
No, so I mean he's kind of a good play. When do they play? They're not on the slate, right? I saw them on the slate.
They play at 1:00 today against the Tampa Bay Bucks.
He's kind of a good DraftKings play, a low-owned DraftKings play, because everyone's going cheap. No one's going to play him.
I'm just going to slot Kyle Pitts in. I know Zach Ertz has been good, but I'm just going to slot him in.
I think Kyle Pitts is one of the best DraftKings plays that no one will go to.
Just because the perception right now is quite low.
and the cheap options of Foster Moreau and company being so cheap.
While DeAndre Hopkins is active today, he did not come out for the team's official warm-up. Something to keep an eye on.
Yeah, they've been so careful with him. You assume that if he's active, he's a full go.
You would assume, right?
You would think that's why playing him with confidence. But I guess there is obviously some risk involved with him.
Yeah.
All right. Looks like everything's full for DraftKings right now. I can't even get any more. I should check my lineups just to see if I can switch anything, I guess.
All right, guys. Well, we're gonna cut it early today. Seems like maybe less people tuned in. We've got about 15 minutes left until game time. Appreciate you guys coming by as always. We're trying to get to 2,000 subscribers. If you could do your part to get to help us get to at least 1,700, that would be fantastic. We'll see you guys next week. Last regular season week, hopefully for all of you. Hopefully nobody's going into the playoffs on week 14. Jonathan Taylor on bye in your quarters is a crime. It is criminal. So hopefully you'll be in the last week of your playoffs. Each and every week it's more and more important. So we will be right here, same time, same place, to help you guys get it right. Appreciate your support, and we will see you later.
Yep. Good luck, everyone. We will see you next week.